Welcome to the channel, welcome to the channel, welcome to the channel, yeah. Greetings and salutations. I'm trying to be spooky. Okay, so this is like a vlog, I guess, or is going to be. So the clips that follow this one are going to be me reading books for July Noir. So if you don't know, July Noir is a readathon, like a spin-off of Blackoween, which is a readathon hosted by Bree over at Lock Booktition. She made this readathon to highlight books by Black authors in the genres of crime fiction, so horror, mystery, paranormal, spooky stuff. I made a TBR a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago. Actually, it was very last minute, and I decided to try my hand at a vlog. It's probably really boring and really crappy, if I'm being honest. Yeah. So I decided to read in Ruby's Crew, which is a section of the Tulis Parish map, a world that Bree created. And this part, every section of this map, which is like a made-up town called Tulis Parish, each has its own theme and prompts. I decided to do Ruby's Crew, and I did every prompt but one. I mean, technically, I still got, I did all of the rules and requirements of July Noir. I ended up reading 3 books. So this is just kind of following me on my journey as I was reading and my thoughts, and hopefully one of my first vlogs won't be too boring. Hello, greetings and salutations. Today is the first day of July Noir, and we're gonna try to vlog. I'm gonna be bad at it, just so you know, but it is currently like 8 a.m. and I'm going to try to read as many books as possible. So I'm going to start out with Sundown Girls by L.S. Stratton, and then I also have the audio of the creeping of something. The creeping. It's a book by Eden Royce. It's only 5 hours, but I listen on 2 times speed, so I could probably finish it in 2.5. So those are the goals for today, and I'll probably do check-ins on how I'm feeling about it, and hopefully I don't DNF. All right, see you in the next clip. My update. So I'm about 20% into my book, The Sundown Girls, and it's definitely great writing. It's the setting is very creepy, so I'm digging it. It does have secrets, and it's set in the summer, so I can knock off those 2 prompts. Basically, we're following a girl named Naomi who she had gotten kidnapped when she was younger and just got reunited with her family, so she's dealing with some stuff, and they try to go on this vacation to bond as a family, and they end up going to this town that's kind of creepy, and it's got Get Out vibes. So there's lots of stuff going on. She smells something really gross. The townspeople are really creepy, and she's just trying to be with this family who are basically strangers, even though they're her biological family members. And she's starting to learn like the past secrets about this town and why everybody is like treating them different and why there are no black people around. So it's definitely ticking all my boxes, and I like it so far. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Hi, once again. It's about 5 o'clock on day 1 of July Noir, and I'm about 65-70% through Sundown Girls, and it's really good. I like it. Of course, I have to stop reading it to take care of my kids. But I'm really digging it. I will say sometimes we gotta listen to teenagers or kids. A lot of times when I read YA or middle grade, the kids be telling the parents like, yo, stuff be happening, and nobody listens to them. But I will say this girl's 16 and she's trying to do investigative stuff and trying to find kidnappers and stuff. And I'm just like, girl, you're 16. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Stop. But besides that, it's still really good. We still kind of don't know. I mean, we're learning a lot about the history of sundown towns and things like that. The history of this town they're in. And she's still seeing ghosts. So, alright, we'll see how it ends up. I'll probably finish it when I tell you about it, the end, when I come back. Okay, bye. I don't know if I'm in frame. Okay, I'm making coffee. Making coffee. And it's day 2 of, alright, so I'm a basic, okay? Every time I get a coffee machine, I break it. So I just hang with some instant. This is my Cafe Bustelo Cuban coffee, instant, because I'm basic. But I finished Sundown Girls, and you know what? It's really, really good. I mean, it's YA, so, but there were a few red herrings in there, so I actually didn't figure out who did the deed until 80% in, so that's kind of good. I definitely like L.S. Stratton's writing style, and I know for sure that she has other crime fiction, so I definitely want to read those. I just put in some caramel, and now I'm putting in some French vanilla. So I'm definitely going to check out her backlist, which is one of the whole purposes for Blackoween is to find new authors, black authors in crime fiction. And then I started to read Dread Nation. Wow, already? And then I might listen to an audiobook later. We'll see. Hello. Hopefully you're in frame. I'm on the way to my mother's house because she is of a certain age, and I have to go clean her house. So I'm taking this time in my car without children to talk about how my July Noir is going. So I think last time I talked to you, I was talking about I had just finished Sundown Girls, and I was starting Dread Nation. So I'm about 6% into Dread Nation, and I'm not saying I don't like it, because it just started. I'm literally only a chapter in. But so far I like the main character Jane, so I'm gonna try to do kind of spoiler free chats. But so this book is kind of set in an alternate history, so it's like historical fiction, horror, survival horror. It's not quite dystopian, but so it's set in kind of the Reconstruction era, because the main character Jane was born 2 days before the zombies started rising. And it was in the middle of the Civil War. So the Civil War is over because of zombies, because they can't be fighting each other if they gotta fight zombies. And slavery is technically abolished, but they basically took all of the old enslaved people, the people who were enslaved, and said, hey, you're gonna go kill zombies now. And then our main character, Jane, is at this like academy where she has to learn how to kill zombies. But not even just that, they also teach them etiquette, because basically Black people and Native Americans as well, so they have to protect the white people, rich white people, from zombies. But they also have to learn how to like be around rich people as well. So they have to be taught, etiquette and how to be around other people in the higher echelons. So they're basically kind of just zombie killing bodyguards, but it's only, Black and Indigenous people. So so far I like it. The writing is fine, and I like the main character. She's very confident in her abilities. She's kind of badass. She knows how to use all these different weapons. She has actually killed zombies before. But she is the daughter of a white, like, plantation owner's daughter, or plantation owner's wife, maybe, because it in the beginning, it kind of detailed her being born and like, oh hey, the baby came out and it's Black, and we don't do that, so she's kind of raised by another slave on the plantation, and her mom doesn't really recognize her as her daughter because she's Black. So we're kind of learning the dynamics of her at this school and with some of the other students, and I haven't really got to the meat yet because it kind of just started setting it up, but I can already feel myself kind of drifting wanting to read something else. I'm a mood reader, and I have to really be in the mood for historical fiction. Historical fiction isn't my favorite, even if it has other stuff. So this is obviously like an alternate history, and it has zombies. They call them shamblers. So we'll see. I'm not DNFing yet. I might just switch while I'm cleaning at my mom's house. I have my headphones, so I might listen to The Creeping of Dogwood Manor. I finally got the title, y'all, by Eden Royce, because like I said, it's only 2.5 hours. I mean, it's 5 hours, but probably 2.5 hours for me because I listen on 2 times speed. So I was thinking about doing that while I clean my mom's house, and I will check in with you after that happens. But we're doing pretty good. It's the second day of July Noir weekend, Blackoween weekend. And I already have 1 book down and 2 prompts gone. And then this next one will probably get me somebody who's infected. And then if I read the Dogwood Manor one in audio, that'll give me hoodoo or root work. Yeah, and in Dread Nation, there seems to be a kind of friendship going on between a couple of the students, so we'll see if that continues or if there's any other kind of friendships going on within that book. But we'll see, because I haven't started the Dogwood Manor one, The Creeping of Dogwood Manor, and that might have a friendship in it, so we'll see. So I will catch up with you guys later. It is Sunday, the last day of July Noir, weekend edition. Sorry I didn't check with you about The Creepening of Dogwood House by Eden Royce, but it was a really, really, really kind of short audiobook, and I finished it. It was really good. I always love Eden Royce. Eden Royce also wrote Root Magic and Conjure Island, and both of those were really good. Also has a lot of hoodoo, root work, Gullah Geechee type themes. So her writing is always good. It's not really like it wasn't meant for me, you know. I'm not 12. But the writing's solid, and yeah, it was a good time. It was creepy. It had ambiance. There's a bad guy. There's hair in the walls. The house it's about a boy. His mother died, so he has to go live with his estranged aunt. And there's a lot of trying to remember, ancestral knowledge and how things get lost when they don't get passed down and the stories don't get told. So he's trying to figure out some family secrets and the family heritage. And he goes back to their family home, and there's some secrets. And the house is haunted and sentient, kind of, and shows him things. So it's super creepy. It's definitely got the creep factor. I really liked it, but it talks a lot about grief and family connections and ancestors and stuff like that. So it's definitely a good time. I'm still reading Dread Nation. I don't want to DNF it. I really don't. And I like the character so far, the main character Jane. I'm still only like maybe 15%. But there are a few things that get said that's very like, oh, well, we get treated like crap because we're black, but at least it's better than being dead. Like, it was very like slave propaganda sort of, and I don't like that, but I'm gonna keep trying because it's the last day of July Noir and I want to go out with a bang and try to get all my prompts. So I'll come back to you with more thoughts later. It is I again. Hi. Coming to you from my backyard. Another July Noir update. We are kind of halfway through Sunday. It's about 3 o'clock. I had to DNF Dread Nation. I had to do it, and I feel so sad for having to do it. But I wasn't really gravitating towards it. I just didn't. There wasn't anything making me want to read it, and that's a problem for me. If I'm constantly setting a book down, usually that means I don't like it. And I wanted to like it. It's historical fiction. There's a badass queer black character. It had everything that I like, but I don't know why it wasn't hitting me. I don't know if it was just really slow trying to get to what it was about. And also, there were just a couple of moments where, like I said, it felt like slave propaganda. It was very much like, oh, well, we have to go kill zombies, but it's kind of better than, because it's like only the black people had to go hunt the zombies in the book. And the main character was like, oh, yeah, that kind of sucks that they only make black people do it, but I guess it could be worse. At least we get to go to school. Like, it was just like gross. I don't know. It was just rubbing me the wrong way. Maybe I was reading too much into it. But some of those, it was like numerous times in the beginning of the book where it was very much like, oh, well, it could be worse for us darkies. Like, it was just very like, that one character from Django Unchained, who was just snuggling up next to the master. It was just very gross. It made me feel gross. So I DNF'd that. And that's like the second time I've tried to read that book. And so many people like that book. And I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. So I switched gears and I almost was like, okay, I'm just going to cut it short. I don't need to get investigative Thoreau because I'm already the grand searcher of Tulis Parish. So it's not like I have to get investigator Thoreau in order for that to carry over to Blackaween in October. But I was like, you know what, let me search around. Maybe I could find another middle grade that only is going to take, a couple of hours. And I found one and I've started it and I'm like at chapter 8 and I'm really liking it. It'll actually cover friendship, and I'm just going to have it cover like the free space. So it's technically 5 prompts. Because I just couldn't find anything that had infected in the YA. I started to read volume 2 of Bitterroot, but that's technically not YA. It's like mature, 17 plus. So I didn't want to be disingenuous. I don't know if it's my neurodivergent brain, but I like to take the rules seriously. And this might be a mini rant before I get to the book that I'm reading now to kind of complete my day. I am happy that people are participating in Blackaween, and I guess maybe I'm not like the creator. I'm not Bree. But like the rules of Blackaween, July Noir, and like the prompts and what you are supposed to read for Blackaween are pretty clear. And I saw a whole bunch of people like on Instagram tagging and saying, oh, I'm reading this for Blackaween. And one of them was like James Baldwin. And Blackaween, it's supposed to be, crime fiction. And so a lot of people try to read fantasies. A lot of people try to read contemporary fiction. A lot of people, in that case, like Go Tell 'Em on the Mountain by James Baldwin is not horror. It's not crime fiction. I don't think anything that James Baldwin has written, like those old black classics, a lot of them aren't really, I wouldn't classify as black, as crime fiction. I mean, there are a couple like The Invisible Man, Native Son. I think Beloved could go in, crime fiction. It's spooky. There are ghosts. But like James Baldwin? For Blackaween? Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, you tell me. Maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like don't try to read lit fic for Blackaween. Don't try to read fantasy for Blackaween. Like, don't try to read somebody who's not black unless it's the indigenous prompt. But I'm just kind of sitting here like, why? It's not like the rules are hard. But anyway, I digress. So the book I'm reading, because now it's starting to rain and I gotta go back inside. So the book I'm reading is by India Hill Brown. And she has written a couple of other really kind of middle grade, I would say more on the juvenile, lower, maybe elementary, honestly. Kind of upper middle grade, so like, or upper elementary, so I would say like 6th grade, 5th or 6th grade. I think I read her The Forgotten Girl I read before, and I found another one in my Hoopla. It's called Girl in the Ashes, and it'll cover the friendship prompt. I'm going to use it for kind of just the blank space prompt, the free space prompt. Just so I can still get 5, so I can say I did it. So it might be cheating, but I don't care. But it's about these two friends, and it's really hitting for me because the one boy, he's 11, but he's going through puberty. He grew, and everybody's treating him like he's a grown man. I think he probably has ADHD, but everybody's just, because he's now grown, they're treating him differently. And then the girl, she's 11, but she still likes, I guess, what you would consider as childish things. She still sleeps with a lovey at night. She really loves to learn. She is, scared, a puberty time, tween time. So a lot of the girls in her friend group kind of stop being friends with her because they call her a baby, and say just because she still likes childish things. She likes glitter, she likes pink still, and they're all kind of doing the grown thing, trying to be, and it resonates with me because my daughter is going through that. My daughter is 8, and she's starting to get teased by her friends because she still plays with Barbies. All her friends are doing TikTok dances and putting on makeup, and my child, still likes Barbies and still sleeps with a lovey at night and still needs a nightlight. And she's coming to me saying that she's being teased. So it's kind of hitting for me. There's some spooky stuff happening. There's a ghost who's setting fires, but everybody thinks it's this boy being a troublemaker. So I'm liking it, and I should probably finish it so I'll be able to actually do most of the prompts this time for July Noir. So that's my update. I will probably, next time you see me, it's going to be just a final wrap up of everything. So yep. Okay, so I did end up finishing The Girl from the Ashes by India Hill Brown. India? I don't know. I'll put the thing on the screen. But I did end up finishing it, and it definitely hit me in the feels when people talk about books not being political, and then, you still have, stories and people who remember not even being able to read or go to the library, and Black people just getting treated differently. And even just the act of reading is political for some people. So it definitely got me on my feelings. I think it was like this book was probably my favorite. So it definitely had the themes of strong friendship. It had secrets. It's definitely talking about some hard themes, even in like a middle grade. But I really, really enjoyed it. I understand what it's like to be different or be teased or to do things that people wouldn't expect me to do because, I'm biracial. And, I constantly went through school being questioned by my teachers because I was the only, Black kid in honors classes, and like my science teacher in 8th grade thought I was cheating because I got all A's because I was Black, and she in her mind thought that a Black girl couldn't get all A's. So this one kind of got me in my feelings a lot, and just the stuff I talked about with my daughters around that age, getting teased, and just how we treat our Black boys, even though they're still children. If they shoot up, if they got a deep voice, if they're tall, all of a sudden they're men when they're like 12. So it definitely got me thinking about, things that have happened in the past 10 years to, Black children. But definitely worth the read, and it was really good. Of course, the ghost tries to get, her revenge by setting fire to their town, but she kind of moves on at the end and decides that revenge isn't the best idea. So just a kind of general wrap up, I read 3 books, did 5 prompts. I read Sundown Girls, which was YA, which was Summer. I'm going to have a little thing here, which was Summer and Secrets. I did The Creeping of Dogwood House, and that was Root Work, Summer, and Secrets. And then I did that last one, Girl from the Ashes, and that was Strong Friendship. I kind of just used my free space for this one, but it also has some secrets as well. So I had a great time. Even though it was just a weekend, I was happy to participate in a weekend July Noir, a spinoff of Black Halloween. I hope everybody else had a wonderful Black Halloween. And if you didn't participate in July Noir, hopefully you can get some good ideas from this vlog of books to put in your TBR. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.